Hello and welcome back to the Spotlight Games podcast for episode 124. Today we're going to talk about last week's PlayStation State of Play, but the reason you're here today is that it is the week of Summer Game Fest, which means we got some bold predictions to make, most of which won't come true. But that's the fun of it, and joining me for that fun is my sweet dumpster boy, Cayman Darty. Cayman, how you doing?
Yes, sir. That's it. That's all I got.
That's
all. That's all I got today.
If that's all you got today, brother, we're in for a fucking show, brother. Cayman, it's been a week since we recorded.
It has,
and in that week, I don't know that anything interesting has happened.
Really nothing.
Really nothing. In fact, turn the podcast off. Go live your life.
Yeah, you don't need to listen to me talk.
You don't need to be here
any longer.
But we do have a lot of video game stuff to talk about because this is the Spotlight Games podcast where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/SpotlightGamesPod. So be sure to follow us there so that you're notified when we go live so you can be part of the conversation. Tomorrow night, we are back with another episode of The Last of Us Part 2 with Rose.
How much longer we got?
Oh, brother. We're in day 3.
Oh, okay.
So we have more than half. But I would bet, I feel like lately we've kind of improved the pace a little bit.
Sure.
So I feel like we probably still have like 10 episodes left though, at the rate we're going. Because the thing is, we normally only record between an hour and 2 hours at a time. We're not doing those like longer sessions.
Sure.
We keep throwing around this idea of like, do we ever want to stream on like not a Wednesday and like earlier so that way we can stream for longer? We'll see. But we also, there have been some rumblings, Cayman. Some corners of the internet, some corners that maybe Kayla Gray 6 in the chat is a part of. Hey, Kayla, thanks for being here. Some corners of the internet are wondering, are we going to revisit Stardew on stream at all?
Sure.
The conversation is ongoing. We might pivot at any moment and do a Stardew here or there. There's also this other game that Rose found on TikTok called Oh Dear. Are you familiar with this? Have you ever heard of this? You seen this?
I've not heard of this or seen of this.
So Oh Dear is a game, and I'm pulling from like a 40-second TikTok that I watched like 9 hours ago. So sure. Forgive me if I get any of this wrong, but Oh Dear is an early access game that is in a like it's giving Among Us, but it's not an Among Us like by any means. It is they're hunters versus deer.
Okay.
And so when you're a deer, like you're trying to kind of blend into the environment with the other deer so that the hunter doesn't see that you're a deer. But then like you're running around like on your hind legs, like essentially, and you're trying to stay alive until it becomes nighttime, because when it's nighttime, you hunt the hunter. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if like you become a monster, but it sounds really fun. It's
okay.
Like it sounds like
you had me on running on my haunches.
Exactly. So, you know, any and all options are on the table. But as of right now, in this moment, recording live right here on twitch.tv/SpotlightGamesPod, Tuesday at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time, we are returning with The Last of Us Part 2 tomorrow night. But follow us on socials, and you'll know tomorrow what we go live with. And finally, join the Discord, another place that you can learn about what's coming up down the pipeline. We got a fun little Discord where we discuss what we're playing and generally goof off together about video games. So if that sounds like something you like, click the link in the description. Click the link in the bio of our socials. Join the Discord. We also got cognitive clips in the chat. Whoopsh, whoopsh. He's back. Cayman,
sir.
There's a lot to discuss. As we said at the top of the show, we're going to be recapping our thoughts of what was announced last week on PlayStation State of Play. And we're going to be doing some bold predictions of Summer Game Fest. And this, you know, all options on the table. We're going to be talking to Xbox, to Ubisoft, Summer Game Fest, maybe a little Nintendo in there. Who's to say? But that's got to wait. Because Spotlight Games, we always start with what we've been playing. So, Cayman, I throw it to you. My hands are underneath the center. I say Blue 42, Omaha, Hut Hut Hike. I throw you the ball. What you been playing?
Okay. First, before I do what I've been playing, I do want to do a quick shout out, Patrick.
Okay.
If you do oblige me.
Okay. I blush.
Thank you, sir. So I want to do a quick shout out and say that in a couple weeks, STC will be back. We will have a new episode for Save Trash Cinema in a couple weeks. I hope you guys are very excited. This is a very important episode for me. This is like a full circle moment for STC. The second interview we ever did with STC was with Alex Austin and Kier Seward, who are friends of the show. They've been on STC quite a bit. Patrick and I have spent time digitally with them. They have
people.
Absolutely wonderful people, and their new movie, Kill Your Lover, is dropping this Friday. So the day after you listen to this, if you're listening at home, or on Friday for however many days it is from right now on Twitch, on Friday on Apple TV, Kill Your Lover is going to be live. If you are a fan of horror films, if you're a fan of body horror, David Cronenberg, toxic relationships, and all that good stuff, that will be live there. I highly recommend going and supporting them. Even if you don't like horror, just rent it, put it in the background. Just do your thing. Just support the people because they're genuinely wonderful people.
They're great.
And we will be,
Cayman, would you believe I spoke with Alex right before we went live? You don't know this. This is a surprise. And I said, we're going to announce that we're going to be talking about Kill Your Lover, your new feature film out on Apple TV on Friday. Can you send me just a quick little scream from the movie? Because it's a horror movie. And this is what she sent me. Wow! So you heard it here first, folks. Wario in Kill Your Lover. Not true. Not true.
So to circle back, I will be meeting with them again in a couple weeks, have that episode live where we will discuss the making of the film, discuss the reception, discuss things that I enjoyed about it. I will be bringing hot and heavy questions. So if you want those questions asked live on air when I talk to them,
let's go.
Watch the movie, shoot me a message. I will deliver what you want. So that is there. And yeah, Kill Your Lover. Go check it out this Friday. That being said, Patrick, I'm going to deliver some fucking hits.
Oh, boy. Hits with Cayman.
All right. So I'm going to bring you 3 games to start off with. These are 3 games that I platinumed. I'm going to give you a game you must play.
Okay.
A game that you should play on sale.
Okay.
And a game that you just should ignore because it's not very good.
All right, Cayman with the hits. Hit me.
I'm going to hit you with the worst. We'll rank our way up, starting with Air, Memories of Old. This game is not very fun. It is quite boring, honestly. Okay. It is kind of pitched as a cozy game because you can fly as a bird and like fly. Now, that's the coolest part is flying around a world as a bird. And the art style is kind of okay. It's like that very it feels very Unity.
Okay.
The game itself is just kind of boring. The puzzles are not very challenging. So like the puzzle aspect, which is like the only other part of the game, isn't very challenging.
Okay.
It's very aimless, and I think that's another issue with it. Ultimately, though, it's like a 2 to 4 hour long experience, 4 hours if you want to get the platinum. I will say the platinum itself is actually good once you're done doing the bullshit to beat the game. The platinum's fun. They've got a bunch of Easter eggs, make you explore the map, things like that. That part I enjoyed. The rest of the game, I did not. Let me bring you to a game that I say pick up when it's on sale. This game, and I struggle with saying pick it up while it's on sale, is called Wavetale. Wavetale is a very cool game. It's about 5 hours in length, has a very straightforward platinum that is fun. It is about environmentalism. It's very cute. It's coming of age tale as well.
Ooh.
The whole crux of the game is that the world has been flooded. So imagine Kevin Costner in Waterworld. And you get to surf on your feet and fly through. Here's where the game gets really fun. Is that it plays the platforming mechanics because it's like an action platformer. The platforming feels like Sunset Overdrive.
Ooh.
The problem is, which is super fun, but this is the problem. It only hits about 80% of the time. The controls can be kind of floaty and loose, and that can cause some frustration. Ultimately, I had a ton of fun playing it. I picked it up for, I think, $5 on the current PlayStation sale this summer. So if you have PlayStation, I would say definitely go pick it up right now. $5, 5 hour long platinum, super fun. Also, the soundtrack is like lo-fi beats,
Ooh,
and it's really good. So let's get to the last one, which is the must play.
must play, folks.
Must play. Must play is a game called The Last Campfire. It
Okay.
is a 4-hour long emotional jaunt through depression and death and anxiety. It's very cute on the outside, but the story it tells is very emotional. Like, are you ever good enough? And like how to come to terms with like moving on. And I think that the puzzles are really well done. There was only a couple puzzles in the game, which to get the platinum, you have to do like all puzzles basically. Of the puzzles in the game, I think I got stumped by maybe like 3 or 4 out of probably 30. But I didn't look up a guide for most of them because I was enjoying figuring it out, which for me, someone who historically doesn't like puzzle games, was actually like really like that was really cool. That like I
Oh yeah.
wanted to figure out how to complete them. I think between the story, the art style, the music, and just everything together, I think this is a definite play. I think when it's not on sale, it's like $20. It's right now on sale on PlayStation for
I mean, come
$1.50.
on.
You don't have an excuse not to pick this game up right now.
Yeah. Unless you
I
don't
would
have
argue,
a PlayStation.
yeah, I would say, look, if you can get it for $20, like, oh, if you just get it,
Yeah.
like, but if you can get it on sale, even better. But of all of them, I definitely think The Last Campfire is like was top tier for me. Really, really enjoyed that game. Either way, all three platinums, platinum reviews. Definitely don't even worry about Air Memories of Old. Just scrap it.
Sure.
Wave
Scrap it.
Tale definitely worth getting the platinum for. The Last Campfire, 100%. You should at least play that game.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Cognitive Clips in the chat gave us a yes. Love this game. Oh, it didn't come up.
Oh, it's from Hello Games.
Hell yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, good for that. Good for
Yeah.
that. I also want to mention before we jump into the next part of this, I forgot to have Twitch up on my other screen, Cameron.
Oh,
It wasn't until I realized that I pulled it up. Fucking McLean with it 2014 with a sub, fucking Cognitive Clips with a sub. Liz says, my brothers in Christ with her sub. Cognitive Clip said, this psychopath is paying your rent, shaking my damn head. That's a reference to a story on my Instagram from earlier. My Instagram, the podcast's Instagram. Go watch it if you want. And then we hit a hype train, Cole House Jr. with the sub. And then someone named P-Schwag gifted out some subs as well. What a sweet young man. So we hit our sub goal. Is that cheating? Kind of, but we did it. And hey, I get half of that back, I guess, technically. Cayman.
yes, sir.
A good time here. Any other games worth mentioning before I give a quick little plug and then we move on?
I mean, do you want me to talk about Immortals?
That's up to you.
Let's just briefly touch on Immortals.
Let's briefly
Okay,
touch Immortals.
So I'm about 75% of the way through Immortals of Avium. It's a game that came out through EA. The studio that released it went under. EA dissolved them about a month after launch, maybe a little bit longer than that. It is sold as like a fantasy first-person shooter. And while technically I think that that's actually an accurate description, I don't think it is a shooter in the terms of like Call of Duty.
Sure.
Whereas like this game fucking plays like Doom 2016. This is like an arena, super fast paced, always keep it. This feels like a boomer shooter in all the right ways.
Ooh.
It's running on Unreal Engine 5, so you can definitely tell that like, I mean, graphically it looks really good. There are shortcomings though.
Sure.
The game, the more enemies and more particle effects, which there can be a lot at times, can cause the game to really slow down. We're talking into like the 15, 20 FPS range,
Ooh.
which for a shooter like this,
Not good.
not great. However, I've only run into that issue a handful of times. Ultimately, though, I think the game is just, it's got a lot of personality. I'm just not sure if I like the personality.
Yeah.
I like the main character, but a lot of the side characters kind of suck. And also, this game should not be M-rated. There's really no reason it should be M-rated outside of the times that like randomly a character will be like, oh yeah, fucko. And it's like, whoa, all right, 13-year-old boy.
Yeah,
I hear
yeah,
you
yeah.
over here, middle school man. Like outside of that though, like I think it's a really cool game. It's on Game Pass right now. If you have PlayStation Plus, it was free a couple months ago. So it probably is in your library as we speak. I think it's worth playing. It's a good game. I would say it's a solid, probably 7 to 8 range. I would say
Okay.
it's probably 7.5 out of
Okay.
10. And as we know historically, I'm a big fan of sevens.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
know,
love
so
swimming
like
in sevens.
I think it's a game that like definitely will hit. Here's the thing. I think I'm working headspace. I'm going to get the platinum. To
Okay.
get the platinum, you have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. Come to find out that difficulty was like way too easy, apparently. So they added a new one, but it's not tied to trophies. So I'm not going to waste my time on that.
No.
So playing the hard mode, the immortal mode, I've died 4 times over the course of roughly right now about 10 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And as we say, I'm not good at video games. So
Sure.
like,
So this is an easy game, it seems.
it does seem, and I'm very curious because apparently when you roll credits, you pop the trophy for beating at the game in the hardest difficulty. But then you can explore the open world to do like all the puzzles and random shit around the world you couldn't do before. You can just drop it to the easiest difficulty setting.
There
And
you
I'm
go.
like, can you die in that mode? I don't know if you can.
Probably not.
So that being said, I'm very quick on it, but like honestly, if it's in your library right now and you're just itching for something different to play and you like boomer shooters, I can't say that you should, because honestly, I think you probably should just give it a shot. See,
Okay.
you
Boom.
might find yourself like me and be like, I actually enjoy this.
There you go. You said you've only died 4 times on the hardest difficulty. Cognitive Clip says he's died 4 times in Nine Souls since we started recording tonight. Sounds like a much harder game. Nine Souls, a game that I really want to play on my Fantasy Critic League, but I don't know that it's going to get enough reviews to give me any points. So that might be a drop it if I'm allowed to, because there just aren't the reviews for it. But we'll see. But Cayman, but based on what Jordan's saying, based on what other folks on the internet are saying, sounds like Nine Souls fucking rips. So, but for me, I have not played it yet because I am still in the midst of trying to save Princess Peach in Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I'm having a gay old time with that game, but I've not played a ton of it since last week. I'm on chapter 3. I think there's either like 7 or 8 chapters. I'm kind of guessing that. I actually don't know for certain, but I know that there's like 7 big stars. So I assume 7 or 8 chapters sounds right. But I really, really enjoy this game. It's what, like I said last week, it is doing for me what I hoped Mario RPG would do. Like living up to that nostalgia hype that so many folks talked about, during our top 100 and so on and so forth. So certainly if you have a Switch and you like Paper Mario, or even if you haven't tried a Paper Mario game, because this is really my first Paper Mario game. Like
Patrick, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, hit me.
We were having a discussion the other day. One of our friends, he had his first Big Mac in his entire life. Man's in his mid-30s.
Whoa.
First Big Mac in his entire life.
Wait.
And he's like, honestly, this burger kind of sucks.
I've not had a Big Mac before either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We were talking about it. He's like, this burger kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And someone was like, whoa, hold on. But a Big Mac has that nostalgia flavor that you love. And they're like, but if you never had that. So I wonder if that's the case, linking this back. If that's the case with Mario RPG for you, is that because you never had that Big Mac as a child, it didn't hit for you the same way it might hit for everyone else now.
I think that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see what all the fuss was about with Mario RPG, but I do see what the fuss is about with Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I think it is, in every metric, I think it is a more interesting video game, and still so fucking funny. I can't believe how funny this game is. And T. Thomas in the chat, nostalgia, a hell of a drug. It certainly is. Yeah, that's all I have to report so far. But I hope to have some new thoughts next week, either on that game, excuse me, I'm yawning, or on another game that I might play between now and next week. But you have to tune in next week to find out. Cayman.
Yes, sir.
I say we jump into our first topic of the show, which is recapping and reacting to last week's PlayStation State of Play. This was one that, we had talked about last week. There were some rumors about Astrobot. Those rumors came true.
Honestly, not only did the rumors come true, Patrick, our wants, I think, came true.
I think so too. So I'm going to read through what was announced, and then let's, talk about it. What jumped out to us, what didn't, etc., etc. We saw Concord
We did.
One of the new PlayStation Live Service games that's on the horizon for the first time in action, plus a beefy cinematic trailer. We saw God of War Ragnarok coming to PC on September 19th. We saw Marvel Rivals, a Marvel hero shooter that we've seen before, but was then confirmed to be coming to console. We saw the first Monster Hunter Wilds gameplay. We saw Silent Hill 2 with another trailer, and that game is giving me big worry. But it's coming October 8th.
Specifically because it's on your fantasy for this year?
Specifically because I used my first pick for Silent Hill 2, but that is neither here nor there. It is everywhere. Dynasty Warriors Origins coming 2025. Path of Exile 2 coming to PS5. Until Dawn remastered remake. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the PlayStation knows what it is, but they showed it to us again, and it's coming in the fall. Where Winds Meet was shown, which is like a cool looking open world RPG. Infinity Nikki, which is like Genshin meets Barbie Supermodel. Ballad of Antera, a new Souls-like coming 2025, and then Alien Rogue Incursion and Behemoth were shown for a dead peripheral PlayStation VR 2.
Sorry, did you say a dead peripheral?
I sure did. Because who gives a fuck about PlayStation VR 2?
Honestly, I think with the news that came out that it's going to be compatible with PC, I think it might have life again.
It might have life again, but like in a zombie sort of way.
Sure.
Yeah. And then Astrobot, I skipped, coming to PS5 September 6th. Can you believe it? So yeah, overall, give me your thoughts, Cayman. What'd you think? What stood out to you? What didn't? Is this worth discussing?
Yeah, look, the showcase, honestly, for the most part, was kind of boring. I'll be the first to say it. I don't care. I know Sony has been very open about the fact that like this year is going to be kind of cool. That they've had, they've been rolling one after another the last few years. This year wasn't going to be like that. I think this state of play showed that. Concord, while I guess interesting to someone, kind of landed like a wet blanket, not just for me, but it seems like for the internet at large.
I agree. It seems like I've only seen a few people excited about Concord.
Another like Overwatch. There was just a bunch of Overwatch clones. Another Souls like RPG that I will never play.
Yeah.
Sure, seeing Silent Hill 2 was interesting. I can't say that it looks good, but I can say that it looks.
Here's my thing about Silent Hill 2. Visually, I think we can all agree it doesn't look like a game to be released in the year 2024.
Yeah, 100%.
But as long as it's fun and as long as it feels like a good remake of Silent Hill 2, I think we will all be happy. There's, a bit of an expectation I think we all have with horror games that they're going to look better than the average game, especially when it's like a AAA game like this, because there's, a lot of slow action, a lot of like very tight spaces that you're in means that, you don't have to build this massive open world so you can spend more time on fidelity. And it doesn't look like that's the case. So I think that there's just a bit of like an expectation that we have that is not being met. But again, as long as the game feels good, then I think we'll be okay. But right now, what they've shown us gives me a lot of concern.
Yeah, I think when we get hands-on time or maybe more gameplay, probably early impressions hands-on time is going to really be where we know if we need to be worried or not.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Tony made a comment though, completely separate though, and I missed this. Path of Exile 2 is actually my fantasy this year, and that game is going to score at least 9. I can promise you that. So just heads up on that.
Like a 79 or like a 90?
Like a 90. Great. That is going to score a 90. Fuck. Yeah. You can just go ahead and mark that one up.
I mean, we've all lost. We have no hope.
That is true. But going back to Silent Hill 2 though. Silent Hill 2, and I think that's the problem is coming on the heels of Resident Evil 4. It looks dated already. And there's also the trepidation that I have that we haven't seen Bloober Team make a game with combat yet.
Sure.
And so that is also a little bit of worry for me of like, is the game even going to really feel good outside of exploration? Which in horror games,
Big part of it.
That's a big part of it, right?
Yeah, I'm hopeful that so part of Summer Game Fest is that people in the industry, we're not there yet. One day we will be. I promise you that. People are invited down to LA to Jeff Keighley's wherever to play a lot of demos, play a lot of games.
His
compound, the Keighley compound, spelled with a K, and a GH in there too. And
Golf pound.
And I'm hopeful that Bloober Team is there and that we'll get some hands-on impressions from, folks like Kind of Funny, folks like IGN, etc. And I hope that they come back and are like, this game fucking rips. Doesn't matter that it looks like shit. Because I have heard that the game feels good. And that's all I'll say. I can't reveal where I heard that. Maybe I read it on the internet. Maybe a little birdie just spoke to me and I listened. But so I'm hopeful. I'm full of hope, Cayman. Years ago, Adam Boyes, who used to be an executive at PlayStation, maybe not actually technically an executive, but he was a face of PlayStation. He once said, with these kinds of showcases, with these kinds of videos from PlayStation where they show a bunch of games, there's no way that everyone's going to be happy with everything they see. But if you can walk away liking a handful, 2-3 things, then we count that as a win, because there's no way that you're going to like all 13 things we show. And so for me, I feel like that's all. Like, if I'm going off of the Adam Boyes methodology, this was a good state of play, because I am fucking juiced Cayman for Astrobot. That game looks so fucking good. And this is a message to Jerica Hanna, who is in our Fantasy Critic League. How dare you? How dare you add this game the week before it was fully announced? How dare you? I was so pissed. I went to Fantasy Critic to drop everything that I had left on Astrobot. And I was going to drop something. I don't know what I was going to drop. I finally decide on a game, which I'll talk about later. And it's like, error. You can't add this game because someone already owns it. I was like, oh, who did this? And it was Jerica.
It looks exactly like I wanted it to look. Yeah. Which, if you rewind, jump in the way back machine, go back to last episode, you would hear me say the one thing I was hoping they would do is lean into the history of PlayStation again. I thought that's obviously the Astrobot's playroom was just super fun, but a lot of the soul was like the PlayStation, right? Like it championing the history of PlayStation. And the fact that what we saw and they've confirmed, it's like like 100 different PlayStation characters will be like in the game. And it's like such a great thing. And like, I really think that like more games need to do it. If we're not going to get PlayStation All-Stars 2, at least give me Astrobot, right? And we got it.
What a bold vision for a platformer to just be like, no, this is just going to be a love letter to the console and to all the games on the console. Dude. I think that, like, if Mario, I mean, I guess in a way, like, there are Mario games that are like that, where they'll bring in a lot of, like, I think of Smash Brothers. It's not technically a Mario game, but like, that's like, all the Nintendo and, some third-party stuff too. But like this, if there was a Mario Galaxy that brought in fucking Zelda and all these other things, that's what it looks like Astrobot is for PlayStation. And I am super stoked for that. And it comes this year, September. And that's the kind of date for me where, if it gets delayed, because it feels like 80% of games get delayed these days, I feel like it's still going to land 2024. Which is exciting.
I think this will land in September.
I think so too.
I don't think it'll get delayed. Not this type of game. But like, to your point about like the bold vision of the love letter that they're doing, yes, well, I think that this might be like, obviously Smash Bros and stuff like that, but Smash Bros, I kind of feel like it's just like its own thing. But like, movies do this a lot. Like a lot of some of the most fun genre films are ones that are love letters to movies that came before it.
Sure.
And to see that like come into a video game form, where it's just like, we're just going to celebrate what we love about video games and we love about this particular console's history.
Love it.
Is just like a really, like, it's like a little miniature playable museum. And I'm beyond excited about this. This is like what I'm thinking. I'm outside of college football coming up in next month, buddy. This is like my second most hype game this year. I think
Yeah,
it's still waiting to release.
I honestly didn't expect them to go down the Astros Playroom route of it being the so PlayStation centric. I thought that was specific to Playroom, with it being the test demo or the tech demo rather for the PS5. But I love the choice. I'm glad that there's going to be a little Astro Kratos. I'm glad there's going to be a little Astro Nathan Drake, and et cetera and so on. I'm very excited. Cannot
Do you
wait.
think they're going to release like physical versions of all of those that we can like have a collection of?
If they did like their own version of Amiibo,
dude, I would spend money just to have an entire fucking shelf full of different Astros dressed cosplaying as my favorite PlayStation characters. I'd do it.
That is a golden fucking idea for them to do their own version of Amiibo, but it's Astrobots.
Even if it's not even Amiibo, they just fucking release it. Just
no. Just again, like as the little. It doesn't have to have the fucking functionality that no one uses. But if it's just a little figurine,
no one but like Evan Brando, he uses Amiibos.
True. He's got one of those little Amiibo readers next to his bed, I bet.
Fucking, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah. Overall, though, I think when you compare it to a lot of other state of plays, I think it certainly ranks pretty low. But it's the kind of thing where I walk away just excited that we got Astrobot.
Yeah, 100%.
I obviously wish that there would have been more, but I also don't like it when things are announced way ahead of time, which is a good segue into that one, Summer Game Fest predictions. Before we jump into this is something that we like to do here before any of these big showcase type times, is predict what might come. And before we start that conversation, I do want to read a little blurb or a collection of thoughts from Jeff himself to kind of set the stage of kind of what to expect this time around before we jump into our predictions. He did a Q&A about Summer Game Fest a few days ago, and he confirmed that we will not see anything of Kingdom Hearts 4. He confirmed no Wolf Among Us 2. He confirmed that the showcase is largely focused on already announced stuff. Largely focused, so we're still going to get some new things. He has not decided what shoes to reveal yet, which is a huge piece of news. It's going to be about 2 hours long. It's not focused on games that are way off, like 2026 or 2027, and there is no one more thing announcement, no big one more thing announcement. And then he said his hype level for it is an 8 out of 10 in terms of what they're going to be showing, announcing, revealing, et cetera, et cetera. So with all of that came in, and historically, Summer Game Fest, it can be hit or miss. It can be like he's saving all the big stuff for summer or for the Game Awards. But usually there's at least like one or two good big things each year. And some years have been better than others. Where are you at for Summer Game Fest overall? Like, do you expect an 8 out of 10, like Jeff says? And this is for everything. This isn't just the Summer Game Fest showcase. This is Xbox, Ubisoft, Devolver, all that stuff.
So I honestly, I think if there's a studio like for one of these showcases that has to deliver the most, I definitely think Xbox once again is back in the same place where it's like okay, we got Avowed and we've got Indiana Jones.
Do we though?
Sony is down this year.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to catch up a little bit. You're not going to be able to catch up fully, but you're going to be able to make some headway. Xbox has to be the one that it reigns supreme at the end of this. That being said, speaking specifically about Summer Game Fest, when Jeff Keighley says an 8 out of 10, that's like a 6 out of 10. My hype level is quite low. I mean, I'm just going to be very honest here. I don't really expect that we're going to see a bunch of like super exciting things. I think this is going to be probably a little light. I think there's going to be some stuff there that I do get hyped for, but I think a lot of it's going to be fluff. And I think that'll get into some of my predictions. I think
for sure.
One of them in particular, I think is going to be the most resonant for what this is going to be.
Yeah, I'm about the same as you. I'm not expecting there to necessarily be something that I walk away just completely beside myself about. But Before we went live, I looked at the last 4 years because this is the let's see, 2020, 1, 2, 3. So this is the 5th year of Summer Game Fest. And it seems like when you look at each year compared to the last, it does seem like each year gets a little better than the year before it. 2020 was the first time that happened, and it was like over a 4-month period because it was, in the middle of COVID. E3 had been canceled technically, so it was a very, I think, like experimental thing. And since then, it's just gotten smaller and smaller in terms of the days that it is. And so this is just Friday to Monday for Summer Game Fest this year, and so I think, it's good that it's all going to be kind of compact like that. But like last year, the biggest ones were we had known Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at the time, just like Remake 2 existed, but that was the first time we really saw it. We got a date for it. We got a Spider-Man 2 date last year, but a few days before there was a state of play about it. So like that was the second time we saw Spider-Man within the week. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was revealed. Nick Cage in DBD. And Alan Wake 2, that was the first time we really saw Alan Wake 2 in a big way. We got a date, etc. So like there were some pretty big hitters last year, I would say. And it's definitely, I think, when you compare it, the best year so far for SGF. I don't know that it's going to be better than last year's at the moment. And with kind of what we've heard, things like no Kingdom Hearts 4, things like no Wolf Among Us 2, no huge reveals, 8 out of 10, again, like a 6 out of 10. But yeah, let's jump into it. I want to pull from the audience first. We have some predictions from them. And if we end up saying the same prediction, whatever, fuck them. Don't actually fuck them, though, unless they want you to. Cognitive Clips says Metroid Prime 4, but not at SGF proper. He means for a direct slated for June. Don't know that I agree, but we can hope. We can pray. Gregoman X, Silk Song, and a Bloodborne remake / 60 FPS patch. Is Bloodborne a part of any of your predictions, Cayman?
No, but I do have a Hollow Knight prediction.
Okay. So, but do we think Bloodborne happens? I don't think so.
No. Look, here's the thing. I wonder if there's not something tied up with FromSoft. I wonder if this is not a Sony thing.
Could be.
Or if there potentially could be something written into the contract, or it could potentially be that like Sony owns it, but FromSoft refuses to do a port of it, they can't do a port or something. At this point, with everything else being ported, it doesn't make sense that Bloodborne hasn't been yet.
It's weird. It's
which weird. Makes me think there might be something that no one's talking about.
Could be.
So,
there were, for months, there were rumors that maybe it was Bluepoint that was doing a Bloodborne remake, but then they were like, no, we're doing our own new IP. I wonder if there was talks about that at some point that died, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it is weird that there's been nothing Bloodborne related. Boston Mike of the Neverending Podcast says Naughty Dog's newest project, not The Last of Us. As much as I would love that to be the case,
not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Not a chance in hell. And then finally, Nickery John, Kingdom Hearts 4 stuff. I'm just always going to say it until it happens.
There's a chance. Honestly, that would be the one that I think has the best chance of showing up.
You think, even though Jeff Keighley, do you think Jeff Keighley might be giving us the little bait and switch, saying that there's no Kingdom Hearts, but then there ends up being Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, did he say that?
He did say that.
Oh shit! Then no, it's not fucking happening. Bob.
Yeah, I feel like he that wouldn't be something that he would bait and switch on.
Yeah, no. If it wasn't showing up at Game Fest, then it's going to show up in two places. It'll show up either at the Game Awards, or it's going to show up on a Sony State of Play.
Do you think it has any chance of showing up at an Xbox showcase?
Absolutely none.
Okay.
Absolutely none.
Of the showcases, and then let's get into predictions. Of the showcases that we're getting, so there's a bunch of little ones, but of the big ones, Summer Game Fest proper on Friday, Xbox on Sunday, Ubisoft Forward on Monday. Also Devolver Digital, but sometimes is more of just like a long bit and not necessarily a full showcase.
The funniest of all of the showcases.
Always the most entertaining.
Absolutely wild stuff.
Who do you think has the best one? Just as offhand, general, like who do you think we walk away on Monday night and say, man, theirs was easily the best of the three?
So I think it depends on who you're a fan of. I think if you are an Xbox fanboy, nothing's gonna top Xbox's showcase.
Okay,
like nothing's gonna top that for you. I think Summer Game Fest, like the their particular showcase is going to probably be the one that resonates with the most people.
Fair.
I don't think Ubisoft has a chance in hell at even being near.
I think of all the years that Ubisoft has done a Ubisoft Forward, this is probably their best chance.
Really?
Because they have Star Wars Outlaws. If that game showcases really well, I expect us to get a demo with a talking head talking through it. Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think we'll get a deep look into. We'll get gameplay if that looks really good. And if they have a third thing, I don't know that they're going to have a third thing, but if they have a third thing that is of the same level as Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think there is a chance that we walk away surprised that Ubisoft's was one of the better of the three. Could be so fucking wrong, but I think of all the years that they do it, this I feel like is their best chance just based on what they have to talk about. But let's jump into predictions, full on what we think is gonna show, etc.
Where do you want to
with
start?
the first one? Let's start with the SGF showcase on Friday. Let's do it in
right.
chronological order.
All right, I'm gonna start with my first prediction from this, and this is what I mentioned that like I'm worried about this one. My first prediction is there will be more time spent talking than actual gameplay.
Ooh, interesting. And does that include like developers coming on stage to talk about the game and that kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, that is a very interesting one, and I won't be surprised if that is a correct bet. I hope you're wrong. I want more game than talk, but that is a good call. Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, the last piece of DLC for Final Fantasy XIV on my Fantasy Critic League. I think we get an extended look at that DLC. It comes in the summer. It's like or beginning of July, maybe. I think we'll get like a final. Here's the trailer. Everything is led to this, that kind of a thing. I think we'll get a good look at Dawn Trail, which my sources are telling me is going to be a fucking stunner. Who are my sources? The voices in my head came in, but they're saying big things.
Patrick, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Dropped. Dead by Daylight developer Behavior Interactive is laying up to 95 of its employees.
No.
Most of them are going to be in Montreal. This is the second round of their layoffs. Apparently, the studio seems like it is dying.
Do we know how many people are at the studio? Like, do we have a percentage of how many people?
Apparently, it's most of the Montreal studio is gone.
How do you know how many studios they have, or is Montreal studio the studio?
That is a good question. I don't know. I know that their last game they dropped was like an absolute bust.
Oof.
So sorry to interrupt.
No.
Just breaking news.
I was wondering what was. I could see your attention be grabbed there.
Yes, it was. I'm sorry about that. I just thought as we run a video game podcast that we the news.
Damn,
breaking news.
That really sucks. Thoughts with them? Yeah, up to 95 workers, 70 of whom are based in Montreal. They have studios in Toronto, Seattle, the UK, and the Netherlands. So this puts them nearly at 150 jobs cut in the last.
They're not. I mean, I know that their studios spread out a lot, but like that's not a lot compared to like some of these others.
Sure,
it's just depressing. It's just
it is.
It is the way that video games.
No one is safe.
I will promise you, this is just a bonus prediction. The layoffs will not be mentioned at Summer Game Fest.
Damn.
No layoffs will be mentioned at Summer Game Fest.
Sure. Yeah. One of the questions I forgot to ask: do we think Xbox addresses their bullshit at all? Probably not.
Oh fuck no.
Probably not.
Why?
Cognitive Clips in the chat. Okay, Cinema. I don't know why you said that. I need context. Why you said that to me, or else I'm gonna come and find you and give you a spanking. Okay, so I said Dawn Trail. We're getting a good look. Cayman, did you give your second one, or are we on you?
No. My next one, that was my last prediction down at the bottom of my list. The next prediction I have, Hideo Kojima is going to be there in some capacity.
Sure.
Where it doesn't matter what he's doing. He could come on and talk exclusively about how many times he watched Furiosa in theaters. He'll be there. Doesn't matter what he's talking about. He'll be there in some capacity.
I agree. I think so. I feel like it makes the most sense because if you remember Death Stranding 1, we had so many fucking trailers. I bet we just see Death Stranding 2 again. But who's to say? I think it's got to happen, Cayman. I think if we don't get a Silk Song date at Summer Game Fest, what the fuck are they doing?
That is one of my predictions later down the list, Patrick.
Did I fuck you?
You did kind of fuck. Yes, 100%.
We can share it. That can
Okay.
be a
co-share. That would be one of my Xbox showcase predictions.
It's gonna be an Xbox. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get it at Xbox. I think Xbox wants to, because this will be day one Game Pass. I don't think Xbox wants the spotlight to be taken away from their showcase.
Sure.
Because like I said, Xbox needs a banger of a showcase to like really capitalize on Sony's down year. This is one of those banger moments, so I've got it there.
Tell you what.
Tell me what.
I rescind my Hollow Knight prediction for SGF because you had already mentioned on this episode that you had a Hollow Knight thing. So we'll grandfather that into the Xbox One for you, and I will bring in a new prediction. This is my official second prediction. Metal Gear Solid Delta gets a release date, and it's 2025.
Ooh.
I don't think that game's coming this year, which is going to fuck me because it's a counter pick. I think for you
it is. I counterpicked that bad.
So I will be fucked, but I don't think this game's coming. But I feel like we're going to hear about it. I hope I'm wrong. Let me be wrong. I don't think I'm going to be wrong.
I don't think you're going to be wrong. I think that's a very clever call on your part. That would make sense for it.
It's a win-win, Cayman. Either I'm wrong and it's coming 2024 and I get hopefully
5 points, maybe.
Or I'm right and I get
5 points. No, I don't get any points, but points. You don't get anything for it.
That if I have any chance of beating you at Fantasy Critic, I need that game to come out, I think. I think
100%.
That's one of my only hopes. And I need it obviously to do well. Okay, what's your third?
All right, we're going to get a full Elden Ring gameplay reveal. Like, we're going to get actual... I know they've shown some teasers here and there, little bits and bobs. We know people have gotten full, like, very extended hands-on time. Yeah. I think we're going to get, like, an actual...
Like the demo kind of thing.
Right. I think that the hands-on has been, like... We can tell you, we can't show you what we've seen and played, but we can tell you about certain things. I think we're actually going to get like a full blown, like, here's what this is, and here is this. And there's, and we're actually going to see some of the new area map, some of the new stuff. Like, we're going to see maybe even a full new boss fight. Something is going to be a showcase for Elden Rings.
I think that's a safe
Shadow Fir Tree. That was a safe call. You're right. Well, my next two are not.
Okay. Because we've seen a little bit of gameplay, but we've not seen like a good chunk of it. So seeing a chunk there, which Elden Ring was originally announced during SGF, so that it feels right. My next one, I don't know that this is going to be considered a gimme. I hope it is, but it might not be. Dragon Age Dreadwolf. I think we're getting a date for Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
You think so?
I think so. I think that there have been rumors and expectation that it is coming this year, but we've not gotten like official real word from them on it. And I think with as many eyes, I don't think that this is a wait for Game Fest. And I feel like Dragon Age Dreadwolf is big enough that it makes sense for it to be featured on someone's showcase.
For sure.
And there aren't going to be many showcases between now and the end of the year. Like, there's probably going to be one early fall, but I think that's then too late. Yes. Like, if PlayStation does a showcase in like September, I think that is too late in the year for it to still be 2024. And I do believe this is a 2024 title.
You do?
I do.
You do. Interesting. Would be genuinely shocked if we get it this year. And part of me would think that, like, I just don't know. I think that's too. I think if you show Dragon Age Dreadwolf like that, I think that maybe that is the 8 out of 10.
Maybe
that he's talking about. Maybe that's it, because my prediction: Borderlands 4 will be announced.
I think that's a good call, because there have been rumors that, or not rumors, they've confirmed that there's going to be a 2K game, a part of a franchise revealed at Summer Game Fest, and I think it won't be BioShock.
It won't be BioShock.
BioShock is not an 8 out of 10 showcase.
BioShock is a 10 out of 10.
Correct. The rest of the showcase could be dog shit. But if BioShock's there, it's a 10 out of 10.
100%.
And I just don't know that there is another meaningful Take-Two, 2K, whatever they said, IP that lands you at an 8 out of 10, but Borderlands
So
does.
here's another reason why. There's another layer to this onion, Patrick. Call me Shrek because I'm peeling the layers back.
Oh, brother.
So the other layer to this is the Borderlands movie also is currently, it's I don't know when the release date is, but
It's
we're
this
starting
year.
to we're getting bits and bobs. So the thing is for me, like, what better way to hype up the movie
Sure.
or vice versa than to also announce Borderlands 4. Is it coming this year? No.
Probably not.
Be 2025, but like I think the lineup, the timing of it works to its benefit to try to get people hyped about the Borderlands again.
Sure.
Borderlands 3, I think people enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what I think a lot of us wanted. Tiny Tina's was really great, but that also was like a spinoff. It wasn't true Borderlands. I think now is the time we get Borderlands 4. They just throw us a bone here, man.
Yeah. Mike in the chat says to that note came in the Wolverine game. This is a great segue into my next prediction, which is not the Wolverine game. I do not think we see Wolverine. I think it's too early for Wolverine still, because also Insomniac mentioned within the last few weeks that they're not quite ready to talk about Wolverine. Now that could be it. We're not quite ready. Summer Game Fest is when we're ready, but I think PlayStation will be at SGF in some capacity. And so I think the way that Sony is present because obviously they're not going to be on the Xbox stage. I don't think that they'll be at Ubisoft either. I think Team Asobi comes on stage. We get a full, like you said about Elden Ring, we get a demo of Astrobot, and they do like a level of Astrobot doing some goofy thing, and we see like 4 to 5 minutes of Astrobot gameplay. If it's not that, it's Helldivers 2.
Or it could be Helldivers 2, some sort of DLC like expand or like big, like this is the big new season update or something.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too could be like a Rise of the Ronin DLC, something like that. But no, Wolverine, Mike, I love you, brother. Wolverine ain't coming until 2027.
And I think going back to the point we just made about Borderlands fitting into Jeff's 8 out of 10 hype level, Wolverine is like a 9 out of 10. I think. I don't know that it's quite 10 out of 10, but I think that that's too big for him trying to temper our expectations leading into SGF.
Also, I feel like that's another one that Sony would do a one more thing at one of their state of plays for that.
Yeah. I bet at the next PlayStation showcase, so not the next state of play, but which I think, if I'm remembering correctly, is around September. I bet that's when we see Wolverine is the next actual full showcase from PlayStation.
Yeah.
We also got Chunklet the Mongu in the chat.
Whoa, what up, Chalk?
If you haven't checked out, we talking about games over on YouTube and podcast services. Check out his podcast. A friend of the show, been on many Spotlight Games episode. Thanks for being here, Mondo. It's your turn, right? Because I just did Asobi. Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, is that yours? The Astrobot? Oh, that was right. Right. Okay, next one for me. Slitterhead gets an actual full-blown trailer and possibly a release date. Do you remember Slitterhead?
No.
Probably no one does. That's why it's going to show up in the showcase.
Everything we know about the horror game Slitterhead so far from gamesradar.com. I don't think I caught this.
Yeah, it looks wild. It's this like horror game that looks like, I don't know, man. It looks really weird. The teaser thing that we got for it was very extremely off the wall. Okay. And we haven't heard from him about it since 2021. That's why I think like this is a perfect showcase to say Slitterhead, here's the full gameplay trailer for Slitterhead, and it's dropping in October, right in time for Halloween. Am I right about that? Probably not. Does this game still exist? Who fucking knows? Will it show up here though? Most likely.
Most likely. Okay, that is your 5. My 5th.
Yeah.
I can't talk about Borderlands because you already did.
Stole it.
You stole it, baby. So I'm between. I'm gonna do the more fun one, at least for me. One of mine was we get like an AC Shadows trailer, and they're like, stick around on Monday for a full deep dive. And if it's not AC Shadows, it's like something Ubisoft, because they did that last year with Prince of Persia. But I'm gonna go with Judas. Ghost Story Games
Huh.
has been shown by Jeff Keighley before. Jeff Keighley was one of the chosen few a few months ago to be given the full like massive preview of Judas at the studio in Boston. I think because right now the general thought is that it's coming Q1 of next year at the absolute earliest.
Okay.
I think we get a trailer with a year. I don't think we're going to get a date, but I think it'll say 2025.
Interesting.
That's going to be my final SGF prediction. I think it's not a safe one. I think possibly because we just saw it pretty recently that maybe it's too soon to go ahead and also show a trailer with a date, but I'm hopeful. And I think Judas isn't at the level of BioShock where that would make it be above an 8 out of 10 because we already seen it. Like it's a known quantity at this point.
I 100% agree with you there. Yeah.
So those are our predictions for SGF. So let's move over to Xbox.
Let's move over to Xbox, Patrick. Well, I've already given one prediction. That's going to be Hollow Knight gets a release date. Let's touch back on that again. John, it's finally happening. Hollow Knight gets a release date. I'm going to go one step further, brother.
Let's go.
Coming in July.
Whoa. Okay. So yeah, I feel like there are two schools of thought here. There's three schools of thought. They're not there, which I hope is not an option. Or they come out and it's like imminent, or it's like it's going to be this fall. I think those are the two options. I feel like I lean more toward it is further out than July, but I do think we get a date somewhere, whether it's SGF proper or Xbox. I do think we get a date.
I don't know, man. I feel like July is a great time to drop that game because really in July, not that like I don't think that Hollow Knight's going to move a lot of needles, but I think Hollow Knight's going to move a lot of needles for one particular audience.
Sure.
And if you drop it in a crowded area, I don't think you're going to pick up a lot of that excess group that was like, so if you drop it in July, really the only game right now that you drop it against is going to be probably like a group of gamers that are diametrically opposed to the Hollow Knight fans. And that is people playing EA Sports College Football 25, baby. So, July could move people.
I want it to be July. I just don't know that I believe came in. I
don't believe anything that comes out of my mouth.
Okay, my first Xbox prediction, Indiana Jones. We saw it a few months ago at one of their developer underscore direct. I think we're going to get a date. I think it's going to be a December date. And the unofficial part of my prediction is that in a few months, it is then delayed to 2025. Mm-hmm. I don't expect, even though it's on my Fantasy Critic League, I don't expect that this game hits because they said late 2024 when it was first announced. They didn't give a date, a month, a quarter. They just said late. And so I think they're going to say December and then it's going to get pushed to next year.
I think that's a safe bet.
I think it's safe.
Obviously, this is my safest bet. Black Ops 6 gets like a full gameplay reveal.
Well, they are having, so after the Xbox showcase is a Call of Duty showcase. Do you think that we see Call of Duty during the Xbox showcase or that all of it's during
I didn't know about that, but I do like the idea of them doing a stick around after the show for more of this.
Yeah, I like that too.
So still technically we're going to see gameplay from Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
But, maybe not as much, which is good because my next prediction is about how much we don't want to see about something that is going to take up literally like probably a quarter of the show.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we're going to get to it after my second prediction, which is Fallout. We're getting something Fallout.
Okay. That's the kind of shit right now. And not Fallout 76 is getting an expansion. No. We need more Fallout news, not TV related, game related.
I agree. I think
that could be where Xbox wins this summer, right?
Here's my guess. I think there are two paths forward for Fallout at Summer Game Fest. We know that Jeff Keighley loves to bring out celebs.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Walton Goggins out filming White Lotus Season 3. So I don't think they bring the GOG to the show. But I could see them bringing like Jonathan Nolan on the show to just like, oh, Fallout on Amazon. What a hit. We got 95 billion views in 24 hours. I'm Christopher Nolan's brother, and I'm cool. Like, if there's going to be that kind of a moment, or there could be.
So you're saying they're not going to bring out the girl that 100% has Graves' disease and no one wants to acknowledge it?
Who is that?
The main actress in Fallout 100% has Graves'
We
disease.
think Ella Purnell has Graves' disease?
1,000%.
I don't think I know enough about Graves' disease to comment.
It's the eye thing.
It's the okay.
It's the
what
eye
about
thing.
the eyes? What about
they
it?
get? I think they get too big. Maybe I don't know.
Oh boy!
I don't
Oh
know.
boy!
This is eye related.
Oh boy! But here's my thing. So there's two paths forward for Fallout.
Okay.
Either Jonathan Nolan or someone like that comes on just to like they're gonna plug Fallout one more time just in case the gamers haven't watched it yet. And then either we get some sort of like you said, either we get like maybe some sort of tie-in with 76. But my hope is that Fallout 3 remake or remaster, whatever it is.
100%.
I think that
question.
Yeah.
Do they announce it's only available on Game Pass or Xbox or something?
That's a great question.
Not that they would answer that question or say that at the showcase, but like that would be like Phil Spencer would say it later.
I feel like a remake / remaster is something that they would do multi-plat. I think because they've kind of at least Elder Scrolls, I think they've said is going to be Xbox exclusive. Who knows if that's the case by the time it comes out? But and if it's not Fallout 3, because a few weeks ago Todd Howard said that there are a few different things cooking for Fallout right now that aren't Fallout 5. I wonder if it's some smaller spinoff, perhaps. But I think the safest bet, like a new spinoff, but I think the safest bet is a 3 remake or remaster. So if that's officially my prediction is that Fallout's there in some capacity. Most likely it's a 3 remake.
Well, more we're gonna keep the train rolling talking about Todd Howard. Next prediction for me is going to be Starfield DLC gets way too much airtime.
Oh, sure. That's fair. That's a really
we're going to be like, okay, you're killing the pace here. That's going to be the thing is that the Starfield DLC kills the pace of the showcase because they talked way too much about it.
Sure.
And that's just a bummer.
Sure. Here's my question to you, Cayman.
Sure.
When Jeff Keighley was on record saying that that SGF is an 8 out of 10, do you think he meant Xbox and Ubisoft, or do you think he meant just his own SGF showcase? Like, do you think he knows everything being announced at Ubisoft and Xbox?
I mean, he probably knows everything, but I have a feeling that he's most likely just talking about Summer Games Fest in general. Specifically just like his portion. There might be some stuff that I don't think they can keep it from him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't they have to like approve?
Because here's my thing. This isn't going to be an official bet unless it has to be.
Or we think it's all stinker. It's all 6 out of 10.
If his 8 out of 10 was only about the Friday showcase, I think there is a chance we see BioShock at Xbox's showcase.
Really?
But
But
potentially. But if he meant all of SGF, which I think he probably means, then I don't think it's there. That's just a side thing. It was going to be one of my bets, but maybe it still will be. But I'm going to say we get State of Decay 3 at Xbox.
That's a solid bet.
We haven't seen anything on it in a minute. And I think because I do think that it's a pretty safe bet that we'll get State of Decay, I'm going to say they're going to give us a date of 2025.
I think that's also probably a safe bet. Yeah.
I think the hope is that it comes later in 2024, but I don't think so.
Are you ready for my fun? This is Stoop Dumbest prediction.
This is your fourth?
Probably, this is my fourth. Probably the most realistic of them all. Someone will say Avowed will quote unquote revolutionize the RPG genre. They'll fucking say it.
They're probably gonna fucking
say it. They always fucking say it, man.
They're probably gonna fucking say it. This, in a similar vein, this, instead of being what someone's gonna say, it's gonna be what someone doesn't say. We're not gonna see Perfect Dark at this showcase. I think we should, and I think a lot of people think we will. I don't think we're seeing Perfect Dark, the showcase. In fact, is it dead? In fact, is it silently dying?
I think that's probably more accurate than the other.
But that's my official fourth prediction is we do not see anything about the new Perfect Dark game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's a spot on. I don't think we'll see it either. All right, you ready for my last prediction?
Last
Or
one
was
hit me.
that your last? Was that your prediction?
That was my
Moving on?
fourth.
Okay, cool. My last prediction: more games are going to go cross-platform.
Ooh, okay. Like, do you have an example? Like, do you think like Starfield?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Starfield potentially going, because I think I made this prediction before in a previous episode, that I thought right around DLC time or right after the DLC launches that Starfield was going to go multi-plat.
Yeah.
I think that is a huge possibility that could happen, but I definitely think there's going to be other things. Specifically, this is a secondary non-prediction, but I think this
Whoa.
is actually it. You ready?
I'm ready.
There is going to be a Gears of War collection that will be dropping on PlayStation, and they're going to
Interesting.
announce that is coming out to all consoles, potentially even for cloud on the Switch.
Here's what I will say. I don't think that they would say in an Xbox showcase that it's coming to all consoles, but I will give it to you if afterward the press release is like it's coming to all consoles.
Yeah,
I
think
I wouldn't expect them to be like, and it's gonna be
right.
on PlayStation.
And I think that's why it's kind of rolled up into there's going to be some sort of announcement that's going to take place at this showcase specifically about something that we're like, oh, okay, like they're going to be rehashing, like Halo's getting a master edition where all Halo games will be put together, or the original 3 Halo games will be like the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah,
They're going to do something like that. Then we find out that that's actually going to be pushed elsewhere as well, so that Microsoft can make some more money, because
Sure.
they definitely need more money, right? Well, not that they need more money, but like
In the
they
eyes of
need to
Microsoft,
be,
they need
they
more
need
money.
to be profitable.
Yeah.
You know,
That was your last, right?
that was my last one before we get on to the worst predictions.
All right, my last one. Because I've been a little safe, I'm not going to talk about Fable, but I do ask, do you think we see Fable this week? Because it was last year that we got the Fable reboot announcement. I mean, we knew that it was. Well, actually, no, I think that was the official announcement. Do you think we see any more of it this year?
I don't. I really don't think we're going to see it until like it's close to release.
Okay. I'm gonna swing for the goddamn fences.
Hit me.
I think it is. I would make a fucking bet with anyone in the audience that what I'm about to say doesn't happen. But that's the fun of a predictions episode.
Fuck yeah, it is.
We're gonna get a Persona 6 teaser.
Never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. But if it does,
I love it.
But if it does, we recently had reports that the color is gonna be green in Persona 6. There were rumblings.
Because you got 3 was blue, 4 was yellow. That makes
5 was
sense.
red.
Makes sense.
Who is green? Cayman. Xbox.
Clip it. AI.
Fucking clip it.
Clip it,
You
AI.
fucker.
Your god came in the dumpster, boy. Social media god
Correct.
says clip it, AI.
Correct. My other hopes and dreams for that showcase is that we get a look at South of Midnight. That was the game that we saw last year, but they were really cool art style, like swampy, jazzy vibe.
Yeah.
I hope we see more of that. But it would not an official prediction.
Sure.
Okay, let's close it out with Ubisoft.
Alrighty.
I only made 5, so if
I'd
we end up stealing one of each other's, then we're just not going to have a full 5 each.
Then I'm gonna go with the one that you might have stolen from me, just because I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna steal it back from you. I'm gonna say Far Cry 7 is teased. And it's gonna be their one more thing.
Okay.
It'll be the one more thing moment. Far Cry 7's teased. I don't know about location. I'm stupid. I'm not going to make an assumption there.
Great.
What I will say, release date of 2025. That's all it'll say.
Okay.
It'll just be like it'll give us a locale, right? Some sort of locale. It'll come up Far Cry 7, and then it'll give us a 2025. That's it.
If this is true, which actually no Far Cry to be found in my predictions. I thought about it, but I didn't do it. Cool. If we do see Far Cry 7, do you think we see a famous person?
I really think you know what?
Danny DeVito.
You say that. Actually, There's a chance that it would be like locale, and then we see like famous person. I'm just
Okay.
trying to think of who the famous person
Yeah, I don't
would
know.
be at this
Because
point.
before 6, I don't know that we ever had like Troy Baker was the bad guy in 4. I don't think the bad guy in 5 was a famous person. I think Giancarlo
Oh,
Esposito in 6 was the first like real famous person. Because
true. Yeah, but
3 we had the other guy from Better Call Saul, but he
it's
wasn't famous then.
since 3, it's always been like one big. It's always been like there's the big personality, right?
Right.
Like, so my thing is the question is like, where do we think the game's going to take place? And I think that's probably going to dictate who the famous person is,
Yeah. It's
right?
usually jungle related. Although
R-
5 was
Was
like
Montana.
yeah.
So what I'm thinking, hear me out.
Here I'm hearing.
I'm thinking that we get like Scotland,
Whoa, like the
like
hills of
the
Scotland.
hills of Scotland, like something like that, like because that gives like a very diverse locale. I think the other potential chance is going to be somewhere in Asia, like
Yeah, going back after 4. No, yeah, because they've been away from it for a minute.
well, that was like Tibet. I'm talking like potentially like in more of like a I don't know. I'm trying to think
like Vietnam
maybe
or
like
something.
yeah, like something more jungly,
Okay.
back to like a jungly kind of. Well, no, then we had the one that was kind of jungly with 6. Who
They've
fucking
kind of all
knows?
been jungly in a way,
They've
other
all
than
kind of
5.
been a little jungly. Maybe in Australia, like it
Yeah.
might be Australia this time.
What if it's Scotland and the big bad is Brian Cox?
Hold up, Dom Hall Gleason. Dom Hall Gleason is the villain in Far Cry 7. Jesus Christ, if this comes to true, this would
God,
be bigger than the Xbox buys Activision
it
reveal.
would be. It would be.
Would be.
If I could choose anybody and it wasn't Brian Cox, Alan Cumming is having a moment
Mhm.
lately. Let's get Alan Cumming in a video game.
Can we talk about what about fucking Colin Mutz's nuts? You know what I'm talking about.
Colin
Penguin.
what's his nuts?
What's
Oh,
his fucking
Farrell.
Colin? There you go.
Well,
Colin
he's Irish.
Farrell.
Big difference. Big
That is a
difference.
huge difference. I'm gonna get fucking raked over the coals in the comments section.
Do you remember when we had that one Irish guy and I called him British the first
Dude,
second
that
of the
dude.
show?
No
I'm an
wonder he
asshole.
hated us.
Yeah. I haven't really heard from him since then.
I'm
It's
not
all my fault.
shocked. That was a fun one.
Okay, man. Most of these I read them. I'm like, man, these are fucking crazy, and I don't expect anything to happen. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is at Ubisoft Forward. However, it's another cinematic trailer.
Did you know what? If it shows up, it's a cinematic trailer.
Not an ounce of gameplay is shown, but we do see it.
Do you think we'll ever hear anything more from that Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing that he was doing with Ubisoft? Do you remember
Whoa,
that? Do you remember that? What the fuck was that?
So dead. That is so
Jesus,
dead.
man. Maybe they announced to get bought up by Nvidia.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is now what I think the second or third largest company in the world right now
Is it?
Nvidia. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
All of the chips apparently are being used for AI now or something. It's
yeah,
insane.
sure.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go easy, and then because the rest of mine are kind of dumb.
Okay.
AC Shadows, we get full gameplay. Like we're gonna see a full gameplay.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah,
that's
easy point.
Easy
point. Fucking point. You fucking coward.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it in the realm of AC. This is also one that I don't expect to happen because if they're showing us a lot of AC Shadows, I don't expect to see something different. But I'm gonna try.
Sure.
AC announces a remake of one of its older titles.
Honestly,
they have their hands in so many fucking pots right now with Assassin's Creed. I could see them doing like a Black Flag remake or something.
So there's been rumors of the Black Flag remake.
Oh, have there?
For a hot minute now. So I wouldn't be shocked if they actually announced that. What I would love to see, and I might be the only human on Earth right now who says this, I would love to see like a remaster or remake of Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, sure.
With the ability to crouch. That was my biggest hang up with that game is you could not crouch.
Okay.
But I actually really like playing in like colonial America as a Native American character. I thought that was really like a really interesting concept. I think the gameplay, I think we were at a point with Assassin's Creed 3 where the gameplay needed to start to evolve, and we didn't get that until Black Flag.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that the setting was cool and a lot of the lore was cool. And that was the end of Desmond's story.
Yeah.
Which was cool. But yeah, there were certainly, I think you're right on the evolution standpoint where I remember I was in college when that game came out and I had just gotten paid And I was like, you know what? Assassin's Creed, my favorite franchise at the time. I'm gonna buy the gold edition for $120. I'm gonna get like a fucking statue or some shit.
That was like $300 in today's money.
True, true. But then again, I was using student loans to buy TVs back in the day. I'm still paying for those student loans, so I wasn't making the best decisions. And I remember like 2 hours into playing it, I was like, I've made a huge mistake. I spent so much money on this game that I'm not gonna like very much.
Dude, I bought the deluxe edition of Duke Nukem Forever.
But you loved it.
I honestly, I was an apologist for a long time.
You were an apologist for a long time. Are you going to finally admit that the game sucks?
I mean, the game's not good. I think it gets way more hate than it should, but the game's not good.
Okay.
You know,
we all grow up.
We do eventually. Now we put our TVs on credit cards.
Exactly. A worse interest rate.
Right. Jesus Christ. All right. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and jump into probably my next realistic thing. And then I've got two not realistic, but are going to be good.
Okay.
I think we're going to hear that something about the Division mobile game. And
okay.
I think we're going to get a beta for it. Probably announced alive alongside, like, sign up for the beta now or something. Like, I think that that's a realistic thing because we do know they canceled the Division Heartlands. However, they did say in the presser about that the mobile game was not canceled.
Which one was Heartlands? Not, I thought Heartlands was mobile. Was it not?
No,
mobile?
Heartlands was like, it was going to be like it was going to be like a free to play Division, but it was going to basically be like a looter shooter Fortnite kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I think where we are now, like the Division mobile game, they said still exists. I think we get a beta for it, and I think they announced it at the showcase.
Dope. Of the three that I have left, I think this is the only one that could potentially happen, and even that I think is a bit unsafe. The previously talked about Splinter Cell remake. Last time we heard about it was, hey, we're making the game. Do you want to come help us make it? And I don't remember when that was. It might be way too recent for us to be able to see it, but I'm going to guess that we get a short cinematic something that gives us a year. I think because Ubisoft loves to announce shit way ahead of time. Like, I doubt they would say 2025 for this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And it's like not even close to 2025. And then next year they push it back to 2027 or something. Right. But I hope that we see something Splinter Cell, even if it's just because it's probably not going to be Michael Ironside if he's even alive. Maybe it's the voice. We see the lights come on.
Do you remember when they did that one more thing and they did the brr and it was like, coming to go wild fucking Tom Clancy's Ghost Wildlands.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck the name of that game was.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's a whole side of the company I didn't even think about. Like Ghost Recon, fucking all that shit. That could have been.
There could be. I could see an announcement for a new Ghost Recon. I don't think, because Tom Clancy's The Division, we're not going to get a full. They've already announced Division, but that's a ways off.
Yeah.
I don't think they're still technically, I think still doing things for Rainbow Six. Don't think they might announce like a new Tom Clancy game that we've never heard of. So like that could be, but I think Ghost Recon is a potential where we might actually get a new one.
Yeah, because that John Bernthal one was dead on arrival.
Yeah, I don't really know what they were thinking with that. I think there was a good idea there. Yeah. I don't think it came out at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So my next prediction, there will be a new Rabbids game.
Ooh.
And it will be for VR.
Oh, interesting. So Mario and Rabbids or just Rabbids?
Just fucking Rabbids.
No, I think it's safer to say Mario is not included with it.
Mario's not included in this bad boy. It is just Rabbids. It's going to be some VR bullshit. My notes literally say probably some VR bullshit.
That is a really good call, I think, actually. Fucking Gizmo comes out to say Rabbids coming to PlayStation VR.
And everyone is like, dude, this is your fucking Knack 3 moment. Why are you doing this?
Yeah. Okay. We can't believe it, Cayman.
We can't believe it.
We can't believe it, but Skull and Bones is back at Ubisoft Forward. Even though the game has been out.
Can believe it.
And what they are going to announce is that it is going free to play.
Yes. That might be the
Because
only way to recoup
I
costs
got
at
an
this point.
email
Yeah.
from Ubisoft a few weeks ago, or maybe a few days ago, that was like, you can get the game for half off right now. And it's like, I just don't think anyone's playing this game. And I think they probably want to try to make some money.
They have to make some money.
Yeah.
The 13 years in development, if I remember correctly.
Something like that. 29 years.
It'll definitely come back. I think you're right. Free to play might be.
If it's not free to play, it's they try to bring us in with some new events that they're doing, but we're gonna see Skull and Bones in some
Yes. Oh, 100%. All right. Here's the thing, Patrick. I'm gonna bring you my last prediction.
Okay.
I could say something smart.
Sure.
I could say Trials Fusion. We're getting a new Trials game.
You could.
I could say it.
You could.
But you know what people don't say on the internet? And that's that I'm smart.
True.
We're getting a new Just Dance game, baby! Woo!
That is the safest bet you've ever made on this show. But hey, you got there before I did. This is, you know what this is? This moment is giving, Cayman. This moment is giving. All right, Cayman, what's your last pick of the Fantasy Critic League? Apparently none of you fuckers took Shadow of the Erd Tree, so I guess I will. Y'all were like, no, what did we do?
God damn it. That was a wild ass last pick for sure.
The amount of times that I've looked at my list compared to your list and I see Metal Gear Solid Delta, Silent Hill 2, all of these games ahead of Shadow of the Erd Tree, and it was just there the whole time, and I never once thought the sure to be a 95 Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. We're fucking idiots. Okay, my last one, probably my most unlikely, even more unlikely than Beyond Good and Evil 2 came in.
How?
We're getting another Avatar game.
No.
Now, is Jim Cameron going to come on stage? No, he's too busy making Avatar 9. He still hasn't finished 3 through 8, but he's working on 9.
He's still working on 2.
Yeah.
Did it come out? Yeah, but he's still working on
it. But I think we see more Avatar. Now, is it going to be a DLC expansion? Maybe. Is it a new game? Maybe. We're getting new Avatar. That's the guess. Which means that Division 3 from that company is even further away. Because aren't they the company that did Avatar?
They are indeed.
Yeah.
If I swear to fucking God, yeah. I swear to fucking God, if they announce a new Avatar game, and the fact that like Division sold well.
Yeah. The reason I think it is so not going to happen is because it seems like the Avatar game was a complete failure.
From all accounts, it was a solid 7-8, maybe.
It seems like it's more like a 6.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I look up the reviews right now. I don't think it reviewed poorly. It was just basically like it's Far Cry, but you're a giant fucking blue alien.
72 on OpenCritic.
So yeah, like
52% recommended, but I don't know what that means. If that means, but the average is 72.
Yeah. So the 7 to 8 range would be like that's how you get there.
Yeah. Right? I wonder what the budget was though, and how much it sold.
I really just don't. I feel sick, Patrick.
Apparently, in Japan, the PS5 version sold 8,300 sales within the first week. Oh, fuck.
You're fucking kidding me.
Well, okay. According to Insider Gaming, it made 133 million in revenue. I don't buy it. I do not buy it.
But just like, please tell me Disney like ET'd the shit out of it. It was like, we're just gonna buy all these copies back.
Probably.
Let's make it seem more popular than it actually is.
Whenever Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is like $12 on PlayStation, I'm buying it. And I'm gonna bring the review directly to you.
You know, like I think Avatar in today's age is like, remember when you were in school and you would walk around and be like, come up with this new word? and you just use it a lot to see if it catch on, like really trying to push, like, this is the new cool word. Believe me, my cousin from California, they say it all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's where we are with Avatar, where it was like, it was cool at one time. No one really gives a fuck anymore. We'll see it in theaters, but like, we're not latched onto it. But we're
the box office disagrees with you, brother.
No, well, here's the thing. I think people went and saw it too because they're like, we want to see spectacle again.
Sure.
And then they were all, from my personal experience of hearing people who saw it, were like, it was fine.
It was not. I mean, it was.
The spectacle wasn't there anymore. You know, law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, I feel like I've not seen a movie in 3D since like probably a year after the first Avatar, and I seeing it in 3D, I was like, okay, this wasn't a bad experience. But yeah, the movie itself is not very.
We're pushing it to try to make it cool. Again,
for sure. But hey, that's our show. A lot of predictions. Most of them, as we said at the top, probably not even close to coming true. But that's the fun of these shows. Let us know. Actually, let me do a really quick pull the car over to Instagram. Did we get any more submissions before we went live? We didn't. Wow. No one likes us, apparently.
Wow.
But we got a story like came in. So that's, we're sharing all of our notifications now. That's the point of the podcast we've gotten to.
Yeah. No one cares about us.
No one cares anymore. Cayman, where can folks at home find you? And let's plug STC one more time.
Yeah. No, let's plug STC again. You can find me at the Dumpster Boy on Twitter. I am AI's favorite social media handle.
It's true. It is true. Every week, StreamYard, which is what we record on, their little AI tool to say, like, you should make a clip out of this. Every single week, they're like, the hottest new person on socials, the Dumpster Boy. Every week.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie. STC, Save Trash Cinema. We are coming back in a couple weeks for an incredible interview. I'm very excited about. But here's the thing: you don't have to wait now. We have a dumb amount of episodes where you can hear Patrick and I just getting absolutely belligerent, talking about some of the most insane films that have ever been put to whatever that film. Insane films. I should have phrased that differently to sound cooler. But here's the thing. You can go listen to things like Sorority Babes and the Slime Ball Bolorama, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Do you want to hear us get shit hammered while we talk about the Leprechaun series? Guess what? Those are live right now at Save Trash Cinema fucking everywhere. So don't be a silly goose.
Don't be.
Go join the party and then see us in a couple weeks for that interview. It's going to be great.
Also, how about what's the one with the toys?
Demonic Toys?
Demonic Toys. What a
flick. I'm telling you, we got some fucking bangers over there.
I'm baby oopsie daisy.
Zombievers. Ooh, we get hot and wild.
Oh yeah, we do. Cool. Where can they follow you, Cayman? Once they've gone to their favorite podcast service, they've subscribed to STC since it's coming back.
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, you can follow me at the Dumpster Boy on Twitter.
Boom.
Save Trash Cinema everywhere else.
Boom. You did say that. I was not being a good actor.
We're doing it again.
You can follow me at Patrick Schwag. You can follow the pod at Spot Games Pod on Twitter. Has a new name that I won't acknowledge. You can follow us everywhere else at Spotlight Games Pod. That's TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, all the things. And like I said at the top of the show, don't forget to join the Discord. Your subscriptions go a long way. We had a little hype train at the top of the show, which we're so thankful for, but your subscriptions go a long way. More so just than here on Twitch too. Head on over to your podcast service, give us a sub, or on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that jazz. I feel like we're making a great show here, and we just need to get it in front of more people. Cayman. So if you could share it with your friends, your family, your doctors like games, that'd be great. Until next week. Oh, actually, I should say, over Summer Game Fest, we're going to be doing some fun little off calendar stuff. We're going to be not live reacting, but reacting to the major showcases. And so those are going to hit your podcast feed when they do. But we probably won't have a proper Tuesday episode next week because we're probably going to record once over the weekend and then on Monday as well. So keep your ears and eyes out for that. Follow us on social so that you know when those go live. And yeah, we'll be here. But until next time.